Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Yankee and the Brit MMA Underground with Firechicken from Streetbeefs Scrapyard. And just to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and anything you may have going on with Street Beefs, what's going on with Streetbeefs Scrapyard, Firechicken?
Oh man, we're just getting ready to throw an event this weekend. We've been throwing events every week or every month since July 2020. So I'm really looking forward to it. We got some good matchups.
So if people don't know who you are or haven't followed you guys that follow Street Beefs or Street Beefs West Coast, you're the newest chapter. And how did that happen?
I actually fought over in Virginia in 2018 at the main branch. I had 2 fights over there while I was stationed for work, and I came back, and there was nothing like that over here. Nothing. West Coast hadn't started their thing yet, and I started to kind of get people together as a group to myself, not a Street Beefs group, but just a group to myself, and we're gonna build a ring and all that. And I made it happen in 2020. I built a ring in my yard. By the time I finally got around to building the ring and everything, West Coast had already had an event, but everything just kind of lined up from there on. And then I decided to do my first event in July. And right before the event, I got a hold of Scarface and asked him, I said, hey man, I built this group up. I got such and such members. I got a Facebook group, and I want to go by Streetbeefs Scrapyard. And he thought it was a great idea, and we just kind of went with it from there.
I think for hardcore MMA fans, it's awesome. Street Beefs is just growing. We did an interview with Big Smile, and I even said on there, if Scarface ever catches anything, we need Street Beefs Midwest so I can have some stuff by us. We also heard that Street Beefs UK is coming, which is big. You guys are just growing and growing, which is really awesome. And it was brought to our attention, which there's no argument. Your guys' production is great. I was watching some of your guys' fights, and you also got guys where when you watch the fights, you can see real MMA talent. Like Street Beefs has grown from just, people throwing down to real MMA talent.
Yeah. We try to accommodate everybody out here. And, with the COVID thing, a lot of the fighters aren't able to get out there and do their fights right now. So we have a place that they can come and do fights. We're outside and we still mind the COVID laws and everything, but it's a little bit harder for organizations to put on sanctioned fights right now.
Maddie, do you have any questions for him?
Yeah, just to touch back on the production value, man. Like, I think that really adds something as a really casual fan of MMA and just getting introduced to Street Beefs and stuff. Your production level really adds something to it. So the in between rounds, you've got the best punches of the round and stuff. So for those of us who don't really know what to look out for, you've kind of got the replays going of what we should be looking out for and the best punches that we've seen. How did that come about? Whose idea was it to get really on top of production?
Well, I mean, when we first started, I'd always had this idea that I wanted to improve things here and there. I tried some stuff out. I tried drone footage, different cameras and stuff. But what really made the big difference was I was on Instagram and my camera guy, Pete, it's PSoup206 on Instagram. He shot me a message. And I didn't know him at the time. And he goes, hey, I see what you guys are doing out here, and I'm a big fan of it. And I would like to come out and offer you my services. And I was like, yeah, and then I went and looked at his Instagram, and I saw what he could do. And I was like, this guy's amazing. And so he made it out here. And he goes, hey, just let me film and let me edit the footage. So the first event he did that was November. We had our old ring set up. We didn't have the nice cage yet. And he filmed with an alternate angle, and I filmed with my camera in the ring. And he took both of our footage, and he went back and forth, slow motion in between rounds. And it turned out just amazing. I had a lot of positive feedback. And since then he said, hey, you know what? I'm going to bring a second camera out. Now he's got himself in the ring filming. He's got his alternate angle outside the ring, and he takes all the footage himself still and does everything himself. So Pete's amazing.
So
great.
my wife,
big shout out to Pete.
Yeah, shout out to Pete, because my wife doesn't watch a lot of MMA with me. Like once in a while, she'll catch the first couple prelims on a UFC and then go in the other room and go to bed. But she's been watching all the street beefs with me. And even I could tell in her face, the production value got her more into what was going on, which, don't get me wrong, I love the grittiness of the OG yard. Satan's backyard, and the whole fact that it started from getting violence off the street. And I think everything Scarface did is amazing. And the more I think about it, think they almost should stay more gritty than getting more fancy cages or whatever. But I love the fact that as it grows, it changes in each area, and each area is known for something different. Do you feel that's the same way with Street Beefs?
I 100% do. Each branch of Street Beefs offers something that the other branches don't. The unique factor of it, obviously you got the grittiness of the OG branch. Pound for Pound has their own distinct look. West Coast, they're in more than one location, so you get to see a lot of different changes. Ours, Sasquatch's backyard, is in the Pacific Northwest. It's green up here. There's lots of trees. And it also rains way more here than anywhere else. So when I was looking to build our cage, and we built our cage from the ground up, that isn't any pre-assembled nothing. I have a team, my sponsors, Peixoto and Monica Batchelor, they're bachelors. They're the ones that really put in the teams and the effort and the money and stuff to help get this cage built. And then we also had a lot of fighters and people in my core group come out and help build this thing that took weeks to build. We cemented stuff in. We went with AstroTurf. It's artificial grass, and we went with that because the rain levels in my yard were so high that it would just be a mud puddle. So we had to build it up from the ground, and it's gone through the winter with the new setup with the cage and everything, and there hasn't been a single mud puddle in my cage. So I think we nailed it there.
I was wondering about the AstroTurf floor, and I was like, that's genius, because if there's a Street Beefs UK, that is something that they'll definitely have to have in, like artificial grass, because we're the same. Wind, rain, frost the whole time. Like that's a great idea, a great way to do it.
The most epic thing I see in all of your fights, though, and you never see anywhere else and the production value is what helps, is when there's steam just coming off these fighters. There's something about that almost makes you feel like you're there with them watching the fight after school, but with guys who are way more highly skilled. It's awesome.
Okay, so the fights that you were seeing there were filmed in 35-degree weather.
Oh,
it's not out of the ordinary, though. Even over in Virginia when I fought for Scarface, it was 35 degrees when I fought. There was snow on the ground. That's why I fought in jeans.
So I'll jump into this with your fight card coming up this weekend. Just to let everybody know, is there a place they can stream that live, or how does that work? Or
unfortunately, we don't stream our fights.
Okay.
For one reason, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so our cell phone reception is not that great, and it's far away from the Wi-Fi router. So the video quality wouldn't be that good anyway. It's kind of like, you got to just kind of wait for the fights to come out when they come out. And I've been releasing them on my own channel. There's been some problems with the main channel with videos and that. So I've been uploading them to my own channel, and I I space them out to give people time to see each fight. I give a couple days. Now, if you're a super impatient person and there's a fight you really want to see, I upload an alternate angle to my YouTube channel of all the fights, but it's under a membership section, and you could jump on there and see all the fights the day after. And it's like $2.99 a month. You just go to Streetbeefs Scrapyard and it'll have a little join button on there. But it's a really limited number of people that see it, so it doesn't interfere with the videos getting views and all that stuff.
No, that's awesome. Also, with the card coming up, what are the fights you're most excited to see? All
right. I'm going to look over at my fight card here, but the one I'm really excited about is our 155-pound boxing champion, Golden Hands. In my opinion, Golden Hands is the best 155-pound boxer anywhere. I mean, his experience level is just, I mean, it's super high. So he's fighting a guy named Gaio. Gaio and him fought last month, and it was a surprise to Golden Hands, and it was a really close match. And Golden Hands said, you know what? I want to give you an immediate rematch.
Nice.
And so I said, that's great. We also have, we're working on a 155-pound MMA tournament right now. So Gumby, our former champion, he decided to pursue a MMA career and move up. So that vacated the belt. And last month we did our first bracket of our belt fight, or of our tournament. And we had 2 matches, three matches last month. The winners of those fights go on to fight each other. We had one person, Isaiah, he had a pass for that month. He was actually the last guy that fought Gumby. So he got a pass for that month. And now it's going to be Isaiah versus Doughboy. And then we got Buddy V versus Hitmon Lee. There's some different styles going at it here. You know, you got a really good wrestler versus a jiu-jitsu guy. You got a brawler that's getting better every event versus a really sneaky taekwondo guy. So I don't even know who's going to win these fights. I can't even guess.
That makes it a great fights to watch, though. And then, so from there, the winners of those fights will fight each other for the belt.
Yes, the winners of those two fights will fight each other for the belt, and that'll be next month.
Nice. And you, like you said, you've been doing a monthly now, so.
Yep. And we have belts too. We if you watch some of our videos, you'll see the belts. But I went out and purchased belts for the group. I gotta get one more, but yeah.
Well, anybody who wants to support the brand, where can they go to get some merchandise to help you guys support what's going on?
Martin Rubio, the guy that runs Streetbeefs West Coast, he handles our merchandise.
Okay.
So he would be who you'd want to contact, and he can send out. You guys see, I got a sweatshirt here. Not saying this just because it's my sweatshirt, but I really like this sweatshirt the way it feels. I say the same about the shirts too. It might just be the brands that he uses or something. I don't know, but we got this shirt design, and we have another design too. So yeah, get a hold of Martin and he'll show you what he's got.
All right, great. And then I don't know what's going on. I think in the Pacific Northwest over there, but with the COVID, and I live in Wisconsin, so we've pretty much been the Wild West since a month after COVID happened. Are you guys allowing fans to the events right now, or is that something that's not allowed at this point?
We so we had one event where we had really strict guidelines that we followed, and if you find some of our fights on our channel and it looks like there's people about 45, 50 feet away hiding in the bushes, that's going to be that's the COVID event. Since then, we've had people do COVID check-in stations, wear masks. stay home if they're sick, that kind of stuff.
That's great.
But the guidelines are getting lifted. I hear we're supposed to go to phase 3 really soon. So, but regardless of that, we have limited space for spectators. So I allow some spectators, but I don't open it up to everybody. It's kind of a case by case thing. You know, you get a hold of me and say, hey, I'd like to come out. The earlier, the better you get a hold of me, then we can work something out. But
very cool. I was also wondering, like, do you just get a ton of people trying to get a hold of you to fight? And if you do, how do you sort through who you're going to bring in and who you don't?
You know, it's weird, man. Some months we go through waves where we have more, it seems like more people than I can deal with, and I have to limit the amount of spots we have. And then a month like this month, I don't feel like we really had a whole lot of signups, but I mean, that's okay. You know, we're never going to be a branch that's going to do 50 fights. I just don't have the room, and it would put a huge load on my camera guy. So we like to focus on 20 to 30 fights per event and do our magic on those videos and make them look really good.
Yeah, quality.
All right,
over
then
quantity.
my last. Yes.
Quality over quantity, yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry for stepping on you, Maddie. My last question is, and I had put this out to Big Smile, and of course he didn't have an answer, but he believes it will happen. Do you believe at some point all of the Street Beefs chapters will get together and have maybe one big event?
You know, the problem that I foresee with that is travel expenses. It's a really nice idea, and it'd be awesome if it could work, but to have everybody meet up in one spot, it would be pretty difficult. I think what you're more likely to see is people going back and forth and making appearances at different chapters. That's probably the most likely thing.
Big Smile's idea was overall belt for all Street Beef. So you would always have champion versus champion for the overall belt.
Yeah, and then meet up in the different chapters. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I haven't discussed anything like that with Scarface yet. We're kind of like our own, we're kind of standalone, if you haven't noticed. We kind of do our own thing out here. We follow all the guidelines and everything that Street Beefs has put forward. But yeah, you know, if it's just minor things like this and that, I kind of just make my own, make my own stuff.
Yeah, I think that whole discussion comes up because now we've seen Shinigami, go to the East Coast, and now Big Smile's going to go to the West Coast. So I think it just is what spurs those tops. Like maybe someday having your 55 champ fight one of their 55 champ, that kind of thing.
Well, we've actually had a number of Street Beefs fighters from different branches come up to our yard and fight.
That's awesome.
Huero, Canadian, Demigod. I'm going to forget. Lots of people, but people traveling out of state from Illinois, from Arizona, Oregon, California, Virginia. So yeah, we got a lot of people coming in and out, but I tell people, like, if you want to come out here and fight and you're a champion, and you want to get a hold of our belt, you got to come out and put some work in and do a few fights first. I know Canadian's itching to get our 205-pound boxing belt, but he's got to do a few matches before we just kind of let him have a title shot. I've offered, and there's been a few people that have mentioned that they are interested in coming out here. Baby Hulk has mentioned coming out here. Shinigami at one point wanted to come out. I think he still does.
Shinigami will go anywhere.
Shout out to Big Smile. I'm a big fan of his. I love watching him fight. But man, he's welcome anytime out here. Any of the West Coast guys, anybody, they're all welcome out here.
I just think everything you guys do is awesome for MMA. It's awesome for us fans. It's just pure warriors with, hearts of steel, just getting in there and throwing down. And there's only a certain breed of people that will do that at any level. And it is just an amazing thing of what you guys do. I'm a big fan. I enjoy it and support it. So let everybody know where else they can find everything, where they can go and support Streetbeefs Scrapyard.
All right. Sorry, I missed the last part of that. My kid's yelling at me.
Oh, no worries. Where can everybody go follow you guys?
Okay, so the easiest way to get a hold of us, me, whether you want to fight or you just want to check out what we do, is our Facebook group. That's the center of everything. If you're just a fan that wants to view the fights, we have our YouTube channel. Both of those are Streetbeefs Scrapyard. Streetbeefs Scrapyard on Facebook, Streetbeefs Scrapyard on YouTube, and on Instagram. I post some stuff up. I'm going to stop taking fighters from there because I have a hard time keeping up with who's signing up when we do everything in Facebook. So Facebook and YouTube, those are the two.
So anybody who wants to get a hold of you to fight, they can hit you up in the Scrapyard group on Facebook. And also fans that want to follow, that's the best place to keep up with all the updated information and every fights to come. And
yep,
perfect.
Either of those two will work.
Well, thank you so much, Firechicken, for your time. We really appreciate you coming on. I don't think enough people know about Streetbeefs yet, but as you guys grow, I see that star just going higher and higher. So I can't wait to see. And like I said, I just checked out a couple fights, but from you guys this morning, and the level of skill is getting up there in all of these organizations.
Hey, I just made a highlight video today. I just dropped it about an hour ago. So if you go to our channel right now and look up Streetbeefs Scrapyard, it'll say highlight volume 2, but check that out because that's highlight reels of our fights from this year and last year, a couple months from last year. But Ultimata is the name of the band that did the music for it. Check them out. All their information's in the description too.
Definitely, and I will drop the link in our description below, so anybody who's watching this on our YouTube channel, find the link below. Thank you again so much. Anything else, Maddie, before we go?
That's all from me.
All right,
I really
everybody.
appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a pleasure.
It's totally fine, man.
It's our pleasure, but you're welcome. And everybody stay tuned for videos to come from Yankee and the Brit and Yankee and the Brit MMA Underground. If you're following us on Facebook, like and share. If you're following us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, hit that notification button, Twitter, Google, Spotify. All right, guys, you know the bit. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.
Firechicken out.